Beat Radio. She coming. Beauty and the beat though. She coming. Beauty and the beat though. Beauty and the beat radio. Welcome to Beauty and the Beat Radio. We're here with my guest, Imani, Hakeem, award-winning actress extraordinaire. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So we're fresh off of Chocolate City that premiered last week. 1 week out, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have some footage from you on the thing. How's your experience been this week, everybody? What have you been hearing the feedback?
I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on social media. Fans have been writing me on Twitter and Instagram. They're like, "Oh my God, is that Tanya in Chocolate City?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." And everyone's like, "Oh my God, you've grown up so much." So everyone seems to be loving the film so far.
Positively.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check you out on the red carpet. Can we play that? How are you today, LeBron?
I'm alright.
Oh, we good. We got a new engineer in here today.
Yeah.
Like Judy.
It was interesting. It was great. It was a lot of eye candy on set, so I definitely was not complaining. I had a blast on set, watching the guys do their thing, working with Vivica A. Fox, Robert Richard, Michael J. White. It was awesome.
Did you guys have any fun off-camera moments? Because it was so much fun to watch on camera. What would you do on off-camera?
We did. We had D. Ray Davis in the film, so he's so funny. On camera, off camera, he's hilarious.
Now, how do you feel about watching male exotic dancing?
It doesn't,
That's it. Okay, so we didn't want to play it. Just all about you right
Yes,
now.
yes.
So that was you on the red carpet. We talked about, I guess, the comedy on and off the screens or whatever. So everybody knows you from Everyone Hates Chris.
Yes.
And so you were Tanya, his little sister, and now you're playing Mordo. But in between that, before Chocolate City, you did the Gabby Douglas story. So you've been working a lot in between.
Yeah. Trying to. Yeah. It's been a journey. I'm going through my whole transitioning phase. I'm just blessed that I've been given so many great opportunities with Gabby Douglas and Chocolate City that came after Everybody Hates Chris. So the career's still going, it's still popping, still striving. So I'm really lucky.
How was it working with Robert Richard? Because he's like kind of a child actor too. He grew up in front of the cameras. So was it like instant chemistry?
Yeah, I think with Robert and I, we clicked pretty quickly. It was so funny because I knew, obviously, from Cousin Skeeter, but I knew him mainly from the show One on One.
Right. Had you met off camera before?
I believe so. But there's a 10 age difference.
Right.
Year difference. So I think I met him when I was like 11 or something, and he was like, so when he was still on 101. So it's funny because I used to have a crush on him when he was on 101, and then like 10 years later we're working together. So I think that's pretty awesome. So so the chemistry was definitely there. I think he's so much fun to work with because he's super passionate about what he does. And it's great when you get to work with different people who are just as passionate as you are. So you're not it's not like pulling teeth. It's already there. They're giving you all that you need. So it was great.
It was good to watch him on camera. I could see that he was probably the ones that had to prep for it because I know a lot of them were actually really male exotic dancers.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Did you get to see were you there for those parts when they were filming? Was it fun to watch? Because the audience scenes were like kind of funny just to watch. Just the audience,
Yeah, I know. The ladies, they were like, woo! They were into it.
Really, it seemed like they really in a strip club or something
well,
right now.
Yeah, because we were really in a strip club. It was great. I got to, sorry, I'm like have phlegm in my throat. I'm getting over a cold. I was on set for the last 2 days of them filming the dancing scenes, and It was quite a show. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Bolo the Entertainer is a real dancer in Jamaica, and Gilbert, he's a real dancer, not an exotic dancer, but
a real choreographer.
Yeah,
I think we met him on the red carpet as well, right?
Yeah, he was there. So all of them, they're so talented. And then Robert, who's like, he doesn't really have much dancing experience, but he did so well. He kept up with the guys, definitely. He killed it.
So if that happened to you in real life, do you think you'd be okay with it?
What? Oh, my guy was
a stripper, like, and didn't tell you about it.
I don't think I would be, to be honest.
Right.
I'm gonna be like, I think you need to choose a different career path, because I'm not, especially with me being in the industry that I am in, as far as like your brand and the people around you who you surround yourself with matters.
Right.
So as far as image control, I don't know if I would be okay with it.
So I think you speak, I don't like to pry in people's personal, but I think you speak that you have a love interest off camera. Does he get jealous when he sees you on, because this is like a new role or experience for you to see on camera. He's used to seeing you in different roles.
Yeah, no. My boo-boo, he is
my boo-boo.
He's not like that at all. He's super supportive, super positive. I've never met anyone as positive as he is.
Okay.
And if anything, he was so excited to go to the screening with me.
Okay.
Just because it's all about supporting your partner, you know, and so he's not a jealous person at all. He's just like, well, I can't wait. Like, aren't you excited? It's super exciting. I'm like, yeah. Why are you so excited?
Like, what you
But yeah, he's great. He's super supportive. No jealousy at all.
And he's doing music as well, right?
He does music, yeah. Yeah.
Does that ever do you ever want to pursue like anything other than acting?
You know
what are your personal hobbies?
See, he and that's another thing. He's always like, oh, maybe you should, I'm a producer. Like, let's do something. And the only way I would do it is because I'm curious. And I feel like as artists, dipping into other art can open you up as far as your craft. Like, I feel like music may help me with my acting, possibly. So that's like one reason why I would probably consider doing music. Not to take it any seriously, because I'm surrounded by so many people who are into music and they're so good at it. I don't even think I would ever try to pursue it seriously. It would probably be like a hobby just to help me creatively and get the creative blood flowing. But possibly, I mean,
it might help for a role. They might want you to sing.
Exactly. And it's,
what do you think of Empire?
I think it's awesome. It's such a great show, and I'm so happy that it's doing so well, especially because it's super exciting for me being a young African-American actress. I watch Empire, I watch Scandal, I watch Being Mary Jane, and I watch How to Get Away with Murder. And it's all black ladies who are like leading on television, so it's super exciting to do that, and it's inspiring for me.
How was it like getting ready for the part of Gabby Douglas? She was like a strong athlete. What was it like growing up? Were you an athlete growing up?
I was an athlete growing up. I was. Okay. I was into track and field.
Oh, so that was kind of perfect for you.
Yeah, I was running. So whenever you guys saw me running on this screen, that was me. I was in it for real.
Okay. What about the flips? And then I was going to ask you, do you need a stunt double?
Absolutely. I definitely need everything with the Gabby Douglas story. It was so fast. I literally auditioned, booked the role, I think in the same week, and flew out to Canada the following week. Okay. And did like training for like a week and a half, and then we started filming. So I did some training, like learning the choreography and things, but I had an amazing stunt double who did all the hard work for me. Yeah, she was awesome.
Okay. What was it like working with Regina King? Because she was in that movie as well, right?
Yes. Oh, she's the best. You know what? I've been really blessed to work with such amazing people. Regina and I, Miss Regina and I, still have a relationship to this day. And you know, she was like, I don't know, she's just such a down-to-earth woman and just a really positive influence. And we spent a lot of time together because we filmed the movie in Canada. So we went to the mall, we went out to dinner the whole time we were filming. So she's great. And
did she share some of her experiences like from 227? Because those kind of the Everyone Hates Chris and 227, they remind me of not the same storyline, but just like similar time eras. It seemed like y'all could pull from each other's experience talking about that. Did she ever share anything like that?
You know what? Actually, one of the things, because I'm 21 now, and when I did Gabby Douglas, I was 20.
Okay.
And playing a 14-year-old.
Okay.
And so 14, 16. So it was one of those things where she talked about her 227 days, and and then we talked about my Everybody Hates Chris days, and my whole career I've pretty much played younger than what I really am.
Right.
And so it was one of those things. She shared that light on. I think it's time for you to really start
breaking out.
And so right after Gabby Douglas, I ended up doing Chocolate City, so it kind of, that timing was pretty perfect, I think. We had that talk, and then Chocolate City came along, and then here we are.
You were prepped for okay.
Yeah, by Miss Regina.
What about, have you watched her show, American Crime?
I haven't. I think my dad watches it. I don't own a TV. So
You don't own a TV?
No, I don't have one. So all the shows I watch are online, so I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's really, really good, and I should check it out. She's playing like a...
She's playing like
a nun.
Not a nun. I was about to say when you said a nun.
like
No, she's a Muslim.
A Muslim.
And
okay.
she's her character is like she's like the sister to the guy that was in the. It's like a whole drama.
Okay,
it's
I'm
really
gonna
good.
have to check it out.
It's about racism and the justice system and like being black, being white, being Hispanic, just how we face different circumstances. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. I think it's off right now. It's in the middle, but it was good.
It's just this one first season, right?
This was the first season.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Okay. So what you mentioned, you keep in touch with some cast members. Do you keep in touch with some of your cast members from Everyone Hates Chris?
Through social media.
Okay.
Which is so brilliant nowadays because you can contact anyone through social media. So we follow each other on Instagram and Twitter, and some I know Taquan, who played Drew on Everybody's Chris. He was like up for a daytime Emmy, so that's awesome. So I was like, oh my God, so proud of you. And he's like, thanks, miss you. So I think it's pretty awesome. And then Mr. Terry and Miss Tashina, I also with everybody, actually. I think the only one that I haven't spoken to in a while is Vincent, who played Greg on the show.
Okay.
And so, but everybody else, social media is the business. Yeah.
Okay. I can't believe you don't have a TV. You just is it purposely? Because I know
purposely, yeah.
You just don't want to watch TV.
Yeah, because I feel like with TV sometimes we get so consumed in things like that. So with the computer, you can kind of just watch your show for that hour or whatever, and then you're good. You don't have to sit on your couch all day and be sucked into the TV.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do when you're preparing for a role? Like, do you take acting lessons, or what is it like? What do you do to prepare or get into that zone when you know that you have a new project coming up?
Yeah, I'm in an acting class every week at the Aaron Spicer Acting Studio. So if you guys want to go, he's great. I also get coached for pretty much every audition that I go on. So, yeah, I'm in class every week. I study and I do my craft, and then I also, when it's time for me to get coached for a role, then I have private lessons, I guess you can say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, did you grow up? How many sisters and brothers do you have?
I have 5 brothers, no sisters.
Wow.
I know.
You grew up with 5 boys?
Yeah.
In Cleveland?
Yes. Well, kind of. Yeah, I moved out here. Well, I grew up in Cleveland.
Okay.
But then I moved out here in 2005, so I kind of grew up here too. So.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
What's the difference for you?
Of Cleveland and LA? Oh, there's a huge difference. One, the people. I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. Went to an all-black school, except my teachers. They were only Caucasian people there. And then, so people moving from Cleveland, Ohio to LA, it was like a culture shock because there's so many different people here. People are a lot more open-minded here.
Okay.
Growing up with, people are a lot more free here. Whenever I go back home, it's just a different energy. I love Cleveland, Ohio, but I don't think I would ever live there again.
No?
I would probably buy a house there just for vacation-wise when I go back to see my family, but I don't think I plan on ever kicking it there.
So when you grew up, did your family relocate here, or just no? You have 5 brothers, so where do they go? Do they have any acting?
No, my 2 older brothers, they're pretty. Well, all of my brothers are pretty normal.
Okay.
So I think I'm the only one who's just decided to be different. So my eldest brother, he's going to be 28, and my youngest brother is going to be 10. So there's a huge age difference. So he's still in school, and the other brother is just working a normal job. So one of my brothers were interested in acting for a little bit, but then girls came around, and then he got, girls were more important. So maybe eventually my youngest brother, I think he's starting to get into it because he sees me on TV and he's like, oh, I want to be like my sister. So
how did you know you wanted to be an actress? Because I mean, it takes a lot, and then to move out here, that was a big step for you and your family to bring you out here and say, we're going to pursue acting. How did you know that this is what you wanted to do?
You know,
because it did happen early.
It did. Well, I knew officially at the age of 7 that this is what I wanted to do, and it all started off with me being into writing. I used to write a lot. I used to write my own scripts and plays and poems and things like that back home in Cleveland, Ohio. And so I used to improv my own skits. My dad had a video camera, so I would like take it and play multiple characters. And I was a huge fan of Raven Simone when she was on That's So Raven. So it kind of just like the acting bug started at a really young age, and I was just always a really creative child. And so eventually my dad, you know, took note of that and was like, hey, let's pretty much see what we could do with this. And so we took a leap, and here we are.
I see. So what was your first role? Like
Everybody Hates Chris.
It was?
Yeah, we drove out to California, and after 2 months of being here, I booked Everybody Hates Chris. And it's funny because my manager is in the corner over there, and I've been with her for 10 years, since 2005. She's the one. She's responsible for getting me Everybody Hates Chris.
You work fast.
Yeah, so so it's pretty awesome.
Okay, did you get to meet Gabby Douglas before you started?
Not before. I got to communicate with her throughout the whole process because she was maybe somewhere else filming some commercial or something out of the country. So we got to text and talk over the phone, and then like the last week of filming, her family came out to California. I mean, not to California, Canada, and I got to meet them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what projects are you working on now that you could tell? Anything you could tell us about now?
I have nothing. I can't speak on anything right now. I'm just viewing different scripts and seeing what direction I want to go in.
Do you have did I read something that you have like a web series, or that you were just talking about a web series? Were you in a web series on YouTube?
No. Oh, do you follow me on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh, okay. So I think I tweeted because I used to do YouTube videos all the time. And so every once in a while, someone writes me on Twitter and like, hey, when are you gonna do YouTube videos again? And so my boyfriend actually has been like, you should start doing YouTube videos again because people love that stuff, you know? So now I'm like, okay, so if I were to start doing YouTube videos, what can I do? So I tweeted like out to everyone, like, if I were to start doing YouTube videos, what would you guys want to see? So everyone's like, oh, this, that. So yeah. So no web series. I just want to connect with my friends a little bit more.
So what would they be about?
Probably just me talking to the camera, and I actually did. My boyfriend and I did this. It's not really a skit. It's more like a, I don't know, because he is a swirl relationship, so it's about being in a swirl relationship because he's white and I'm black, and the funny things that happens when you're in a swirl relationship. It's like me explaining to him what a hot comb is, and him using my shower cap and stuff like that. So that's probably gonna be out soon.
Does he use your shower cap?
He has. He has before. He has. It's weird. I think he did it just to be funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't really need it.
So I have a pop quiz. Well, sometimes we do like pop quiz questions.
Okay.
So I forgot to pull them out. Let me see. You have to pick a number.
Oh.
Pick a 1 through 4.
2.
2.
It's my favorite. I'm scared.
What would be your tagline if you were on one of these reality housewife shows? So you don't watch reality television, huh? So you don't even... Do you ever watch reality TV online? On the...
Yeah.
What shows do you like?
Okay, Love and Hip Hop, Hollywood. Ugh, I feel so bad. Yeah, Love and Hip Hop, Hollywood, I think, is the one that I watch now. Because for a while I stopped watching reality shows. But
Why?
Just... It's like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And so I think you don't want to consume yourself with too much stuff that's not really teaching you something or stirring a positive energy inside of you. So I stopped watching it because I'm like, I'm trying to switch my energy all around and doing all things positive. So
Love and Hip Hop is one. So they don't have taglines, so that wouldn't be a good question, right?
Okay. Should I choose another number?
Okay, yeah. Choose another number.
4.
4? Okay. Oh, who would be your dream date or person to co-star with?
Ooh,
Like,
Will
who would you like to co-star?
Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith and Kerry Washington and everybody. Yeah, Will Smith for sure.
Okay.
I really just want to work with that man.
Overbrook Entertainment?
Yeah, over
She like,
entertainment.
Okay. What?
I've worked with Jada already.
You have? What did you
I
guys
have. We did Reign Over Me when I was like 12 or 13 years old.
Okay.
But
How was that experience?
It was great, but I was barely in the film. So now that I'm a lot older, hopefully I get a juicier role so I can really sit and sink it in and just.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and just really work with her. But the short time that I did spend with her on set, I was dying the whole time because I think she's so awesome.
Did you catch her in what? Gotham?
I watched the pilot episode. I didn't continue to watch it after that, but because, I don't know, sometimes the pilot episodes are, you gotta get past the pilot episode to really get the juice. So my dad said the show was really good, so I told him I would catch up on it because he said it really did pick up after the pilot episode. I love her in the pilot, but not sure if I really love the show.
Okay. Well, so what can we look out for? Where can we follow you on Twitter or your social media or something? Keep in touch with you.
Yes, I'm all over social media. Twitter.com/AnakihH1, ANAKIH1, or you could just type in Imani Hakeem and I should be the verified account. Same for Instagram and for Facebook, facebook.com/theofficial Imani Hakeem. YouTube is also AnakihH1.
Okay, and so that's where we can catch if you start doing your YouTube videos again.
Yes, and hopefully I'll start doing them soon again. I really want to.
Okay, we look forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, and we look forward to everybody check out Chocolate City that's out right now on demand and in limited release right now.
Yes, it's also on iTunes and Amazon as well, I believe.
Okay, check that out. So I guess we could play that. Is the trailer in there? Okay. Okay, we could play that while we introduce our new guest. Okay, well, you want to answer one more pop question?
Sure.
Okay. What is your most embarrassing moment on set that you could share with us? Anything embarrassing ever happened on the set?
Not super embarrassing. It was embarrassing then because I was young. So on Everybody Hates Chris, see, I grew up with all boys, and then I booked a show with all boys, so I'm used to, like, rough housing. So the guys and I were, like, playing tag or something on set to kill time, and then I was chasing Tyler or something, and I stepped on the back of his foot while we were running, and it, like, snatched my foot or something, and I like sprained my ankle really badly. So in the scene, it was right before we were about to film. So in the scene, I was supposed to be standing and moving around. So Terry Crews had to carry me on set because I couldn't walk, and I had to like sit the whole time. And yeah, so it wasn't really embarrassing. I was just embarrassed because I was like,
I hurt myself.
I hurt myself, and now everyone's gonna be mad at me, but. It was funny. It was fine. I'm fine now. I'm a beast.
Okay. Beast mode. Okay. Well, that was fun. Interesting. Good to have you on here.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to anything you have coming up.
Yeah.
But we're going to show our audience some of the trailer for Chocolate City.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
We sell fantasy, not sex. Sex has an ending. Fantasy never ends. Now, we gonna add a little chocolate.
Hi, Carmen. What do you let me take you out this weekend?
You don't even have a car. You gonna pick me up on your bike?
And here's your check.
It's gonna be tight around here for the next few months. My schedule's been cut.
Hey, what happened to the dude you met the other night? He said he had a job.
I manage this place. Give me a call.
Whoa.
You'll be fine. They know it's amateur night. Get dressed. You're under 2 minutes.
The one and only.
Dude, what's his name?
Sexy chocolate.
Sexy chocolate.
That kid will never be me.
No, you'll be better.
There's no room in this place for both of us.
Welcome to Chocolate City.
All right, and we're back with Beauty and the Beat Radio. We got a new guest in here. We got Complex editor, Insanul Ahmed. Did I say your name right?
Insanul.
Insanul.
It's tough. Insanul.
Oh, see, I said that the very first time, and then Kayshawn corrected me. So I was almost so Insanul. Okay, good. So how are you today?
I'm good. How
How
are
was
you?
your weekend?
It was exciting.
It was exciting?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I don't recall. I think I went to the beach. No, I saw Mad Max. That's what I did.
Oh, how
I had
was
a good
Mad
weekend.
Max?
I liked it. It was pretty good.
It was?
Pretty good, yeah.
Okay, because see that how did you like the trailer for Chocolate City?
It was very explicit. I don't think I'm the target audience for that movie.
Yeah, everyone is the target audience. You'd be surprised. It wasn't as exotic as you.
It was pretty exotic for me.
Pretty exotic.
Yeah.
Everybody dancing. Okay, so we wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's trending right now. We see Complex. I know your new cover has Kid Cudi and Jeremy Piven, who are in the film Entourage, and that's coming out this Friday. So what can we expect from Complex this month, or this for your June-July issue?
Yeah, I mean, we do have the Cudi and Jeremy Piven cover. The other side of the cover actually has FKA Twigs on it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Which is the female side of the cover. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff in there. I know we talked about this before about how the magazine isn't always a focus for us, but the magazine is still cool, and we still get to do cool things. And I think getting Cudi and Piven together on that cover was one of the cool things for us. I mean, this is maybe Cudi's like 7th cover for us. But,
oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, he's had a lot of covers, but he does numbers for us, so it works for us.
So he's in the film as well. Like some people may not know that because they always hear about his music, but I mean, he's actually had a couple acting roles before this, and so he's in the full. I think he plays Jeremy's assistant in this. Did you see? Did you get to see?
I've not seen the movie yet. I'll probably see it maybe this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll gather up some of my boys and make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay. What about There was something going on. Did you meet him during this interview?
No, I didn't do the interview. I wasn't a part of this process for this one.
Because he had something going on this weekend on Twitter, I think, with a comment where he posted about how his funeral or whatever, he wanted to be buried. Do you think there was a sense of sadness, or do you think that was just kind of publicity? Did you hear anything about that?
I didn't, but coming from Cudi, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's talked about that stuff before.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, Cudi is obviously, it's well documented. He's had some issues with drugs and his personal life. He's also, talked a lot about in his records about having, night terrors and stuff. He's got that sort of a personality. I think some of that, from that pain, he's able to derive some great music. But I mean, he's always someone who's had those kind of issues, so it doesn't surprise me. I don't think it's publicity though for him. I think for him it's almost always real.
Oh wow.
That's the impression I've gotten from him. Especially I haven't met Cudi much, but I know Joe LaPuma, who wrote that story, who wrote that cover story and wrote all of our Cudi covers, or most of our Cudi cover stories. With Cudi, it's very real. I mean, it's not an act.
Okay, so that's kind of sad. What led to the disconnect from Good Music? Because I know he's on another label now. Do you know any history with that? What happened with that?
I can't really say in particular. I mean, they didn't have that bad of a falling out, but things do change. I think for Cudi too, I mean, his position changed too. When you're a young artist starting out, you idolize somebody like a Kanye West, which many people idolize, rightfully so. And you want to be down with that. But then after you've made a few albums and you've had your own hits and you've become your own thing, you have your own fan base, and now people look up to you. Well, then you don't necessarily feel like you need to be down with that.
You want to have more creative.
Yeah, you might want to have your own control. And Cudi actually, I don't think it was an issue of creative control. Kanye has always been very hands off with Cudi. But I think in Cudi's case, he just maybe wanted to do his own thing. He's always been an independent person. And you see that a lot in his records where he was kind of away from Good Music a lot. As you can tell, like he wasn't on the Cruel Summer album. He was on the album, but it was a song where he was on with nobody else. It was his own song, basically.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
But he was in that. That was a film that they did, right? The Cruel Summer?
No, the album. The Cruel Summer album.
The album, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think about some of the trending topics right now? There was big, not controversy, but I mean, there's a big lead up to he, meaning formerly known as Bruce Jenner, now being Call Me Caitlyn. So I know that it may not be something you cover in the publication, but I know online that's something complex. What do you feel about this story and where it's going, and what does it mean for like transgenders? Like, what do you feel about this whole Bruce Jenner into Caitlyn Jenner?
It certainly means a lot for the transgender community. Definitely so. I mean, when I was in college, I mean, that was one of my assignments. I had to do a profile on a transgender person. That was my first time dealing with this. Is, I don't know, 10 years ago or so now. But it was my first time dealing with it, and you realize how complicated the issue is and how difficult it is for those people to come out. So I think him coming out makes it at least a little bit easier for a lot of other people. But overall, I'm kind of tired of this conversation already.
Really?
Because I felt like we had this conversation a few weeks ago when he already did his ABC interview, which I thought was great. I watched some of that, and they did a good job in that piece raising some of the, bringing up how transgender people are discriminated against, and they were bringing up some of the viral videos of like these transgender kids who are getting beat up just for like trying to go to the bathroom, things like that. Right. And I thought that part of the issue is important. But this thing to me, it's the same with all the stuff with the Kardashians, where it's like I keep thinking it's going to end, and it just keeps going and going.
I don't think this is going to end. This morning, I think from seeing everyone is covering this story, and they're saying that not only did NBC, which is the parent company, Universal is the parent company to E, they've done a documentary on it for NBC, and then his show has already started getting ad revenue, like 4 times the amount of what the Kardashians is getting. So that means that like it's already going to be.
It's already a thing. I mean, but the difference to me in this case, I think my comment is more particularly about the Kardashians themselves, who, when, again, I was tuning about this earlier today too, where I remember when I was in college, everybody at one point for like 6 months, every single day I would hear about Paris Hilton, because she was really popular at that time.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't care like that. I didn't care. And I thought, you know what, that girl, she's going to fade away. Don't worry, she'll definitely do it. And then, 3 or 6 months later, everybody forgot about it. Now everybody forgets she even existed, right? And then a few years later, the same thing I saw happening.
She's a popular DJ.
Yeah, but she's not in the forefront of pop culture the way she was at that time.
At that time, it was everything Paris Hilton.
And then a few years later, I thought, Kim Kardashian was starting to become famous, and I thought the same thing was going to happen. I thought she was going to be hot for like a year. We're all going to talk about her being to her, and then everyone's going to forget about her. But in her case, it just keeps going and going, and now it's like, it's been like 6-7 years strong where she's been like, and they're only seem to be getting bigger, because the last couple of years they seem to have been more prominent than they were even in the past. So that's the fatigue I get, this kind of Kardashian fatigue. I think finally, at least with the Bruce Jenner and to Caitlyn situation, where at least now it's highlighting a very important issue.
I think that's what it
that does have some sort of a larger effect beyond just what did this person wear to this party to this time, or is this person gonna break up with her husband or whatever. Like that's all gossip. That to me is not really. It's all trivial ultimately. I mean, gossip can be fun, but it is trivial. I think in the Bruce Jenner to Caitlyn, when talking about the transgender issues in America, I mean, that has some kind of merit beyond just some ratings for
And it
for a
took
show.
him 65 years to get to this point, but I think that people watching his story, if that is something that they can identify with, I think it can help them get to that point way quicker. Like, oh my God, there's a reference, there's somebody that did, they can actually see it, and it's like full speed, really fast. So in that sense, I think that his story even trumped Kim Kardashian announcing that she was pregnant again. Like, I mean, I heard she was pregnant again, but it was like briefly. It was like little blurbs, like little snippets at the bottom of the screen.
This is to the size of that empire, where now, one of the things they've been really good at doing is controlling the media. They always controlled the narrative of whatever was around them. This is the first time where it's kind of spinning a little. It's tough because like now I don't think
Jenner. It's Jenner instead of Kardashian.
And Kylie Jenner and Kendall are getting more and more famous. The whole thing with Kylie and her lips, and Kendall has become a full blown model. So those stories have like kind of surpassed the Kardashian stories now, which is an interesting dynamic.
And then the Jenner boys who didn't grow up with their father. So it's like all that I think will be relevant as his show comes about.
Yep.
Okay. So what's trending right now on Complex, if I were to go, because we're talking about the publication, the written, but what's digitally trending for Complex?
Well, all the stuff we do in the book ends up on the site too. So, that's where most people end up accessing it. We got a lot of stuff going on. I think the main focus right now, I was just having a meeting about this earlier today, is for us in June is always when we start doing our best of the year so far. So for albums and songs, and we've been debating a lot of that for the past couple of weeks, and we're probably going to debate some more for another week or so, and then you'll start seeing those posts go live probably in the middle of the month, and that's always exciting for us.
So best of the year, do you have like a top 20, top 50?
Oh yeah, we do a top 50. Yeah, we're going to do
50?
top 50 songs, top 50 albums.
So when you do top 50 songs, top 50 albums, what is that process like? You're saying you're having a debate about it. Where do you start off with? Like, how many songs are you thinking is in the pool?
Well, typically we usually start a spreadsheet and share it amongst all the staffers and all the music writers and other editors too who are well versed in music as well. And everybody is open to add what they like, depending on what part of the year it is. At this part of because we usually do it at the middle of the year and the end of the year. End of the year there's always way too much.
Right.
Middle of the year is always like just enough to make the cut.
Okay.
So songs wise, I think songs maybe we had like. Just starting, it might have had like just 75 to 100 just to start with.
Okay.
But then once you start debating it, more and more people start, well, what about this thing? What about this thing? So maybe you end up with like 150 or so, and you kind of narrow it down.
To 50.
Yeah, to 50. Yeah, and it's easier to do it at this part of the year because there's not that much to choose from. By the end of the year, 12 months of music, there's a lot more to choose from, obviously. So yeah, same process with albums. We try to get as many albums as we can in there. We try to get as many diverse picks as we can. One of the problems we have with songs too sometimes is that when you have certain artists that are too hot, like you got a guy like Drake who made several bangers this year, ends up being hard to choose. Like which one is the one we want to represent what he's been doing.
So when you have an artist like Drake that has 7 or 8 songs that you can name from probably this year long, would you put all of them on your top 50? Or do you say, okay, we have enough Drake on here, we're going to limit, so you have to kind of down?
Yeah, we definitely limit it all the time for all types, and we have that same problem every year. Anyone who puts out a really good album will have that kind of a problem. But yeah, we do try to limit it. We try to pick what is the most representative, and also what we feel like is a mix of also the biggest and also... In Drake's case, he has a lot of songs that are all kind of in the same vein. They're all like kind of club bangers. So it's like, which one? You don't need 2 Drake club bangers. If you got one club banger and one maybe more lyrical song and one more, introspective kind of record, or one that's more of a deep cut, well, then we'll use that to kind of spread it out and diversify what's on the list. Because for us, it's important to have a diverse list, no matter what list it is.
No matter what list. Okay, so what is it? You recently wrote something about Jay-Z can make me buy Tidal. Did I say it right this time? Yeah. Tidal? Okay, because sometimes I say it wrong. Okay, Tidal. And I think I was reading it, and it was interesting. It was like, because we kind of had this conversation about digitally, how much music is going digital. It's like that's just the wave. It's not even, sometimes even people putting out CDs anymore. So you said something interesting. You said that if he had a mix of, like some mixtapes on there that were uniquely there, that would make it unique for you. What do you think about Tidal right now as a whole?
Tidal seems to be doing a little better since I've written that because he did the B-Sides concert, which
it's all because of you?
No, because he didn't do the thing that I would like for it to do. And look, as I acknowledge in the article too, like there are legal issues to that, sample clearance and clearing music and all that stuff. That's easier said than done.
Okay.
But I think the thing that I was arguing for the most over there is to add something to the product. Like I have a product already, Spotify, I already subscribed to it, and you're offering basically the identical thing at either a higher price or the same price. And it's like, well, why do I need to make the switch? And that's the problem. I felt like he hasn't made that argument. Now, after that article did come out, he did do the B-Sides concert, and a lot of people seemed to enjoy it. They liked the show, and he did that freestyle. People liked it. And then, they dropped the video, the Beyonce, Nicki Minaj. Feeling Myself video. And then, they also started giving away tickets to Made in America. If you had a Tidal subscription, you could get like early tickets to it. And that stuff is cool. But again, like, they need to give more of a product to you, and beyond the product that already exists on the marketplace. So I would like to see Tidal do more. And look, these awards are going to really ramp up. I think on Monday, iTunes, or I guess Apple, will be announcing their revamp of iTunes Beats Music. And when that comes in play, then you're going to really start to see. Yeah, that's when the competition is going to get really stiff.
Because I think you don't even get to see it. Even though I was able to see the video, it's like you don't see it on. So it's almost like you limit their audience too by doing that. Without having that subscription base, you limit it. Like you have all this good content that's premier content that is exclusive, but then it's only limited. It's like if your audience is so big, no one gets to see it.
Right, and it's totally siphoning off audience to something they want to consume. And again, this is the thing I find frustrating about the digital age is that everything exists. Everything is there. You know it's there, and yet I still can't get to it. And that's more frustrating than anything else. It's more frustrating than, the video didn't come out. It's going to come out next year or next month or whenever, or I don't have the money to go buy this album. It's like, it exists. It's for free. It's right there, and you won't give me access to it. That's it's a frustrating thing.
So what makes the subscription-based services different when it comes to mixtapes and things like that? I didn't understand that, but I know you just mentioned like sample clearances or things like that. How does that PIF or sites like that release a song but Tidal can't?
Well, because they're not making a profit off of it, at least not in a straight up way. I mean, they're making profit off of their ad revenue. I'm sure they got to be making money somewhere.
Okay.
But they can't. It's not the same game when you start playing in Tidal, and it's a different thing of being a corporation too. When you become, I mean, it's the same problem I think even like Complex has. You know, where when we were a small site, or even when I was a blogger, like with my own site, I could steal an image from just any image I want. Nobody cares because I don't have any money. But once you become a corporation, everybody hears that you're Jay-Z and you're worth all this money. Anything you do, people are just looking to sue you because they're just trying to get rich for whatever reason.
So if you put up an image that you didn't, it's copywritten, then you have to pay for that image, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Complex has a much more stricter, policy for that, and as do all media sites nowadays. But I mean, that's the thing, again, places like that, PIF can get away with that. People like Jay-Z just can't because people are looking to sue Jay-Z.
We have a video. What did you think? I want to show it to you because it's of a song that's got a lot of controversy right now. It's from, what is her, Little Mama?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Sausage.
Sausage. So you like it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome?
It's
okay,
fun.
so
It's
we're
a
going
fun
to play
song.
it and then we're going to talk about like what you think. Let's play it around.
The birds are chirping. I don't fuck with you. Bacon bread. You better use a condom if you taking that. All these broke niggas that be on my need the high balls. Look, mama's in the kitchen. Yep, you're damn right. So I got the grills and they flooded with the ice. I just checked the mail. My sister going to yell. And she probably got a man, but she don't kiss and tell. Rockin' Robin, jeans in my walk is me. Young queen, when I step on the scene, I whip cream. Cash rules everything around. Cream, money. So the harder whipping that she remix it below. Hey, you get off my style. You don't know me and you don't know my pals. I pow like a comic. Dr. Robotnik like Sonic. Ill with the flow and it only gets better. Save your breath if it ain't about cheddar. It's funny how I asked y'all years ago what you know about me and you still don't know. Go. Eggs, bacon, bread. You better use a condom if you taking it. All these broke niggas that be on my need the hot ball. My sausage. Eggs, bacon, bread. Hot ball. My sausage. Eating the Oscar Mayer bacon. I don't eat pork, so assalamu alaikum. Turkey, bacon, breakfast in the making. Off the rip, I whine like I'm Jamaican. My milkshake bring the boys to the basement. Backyards grilling feel like a vacation. My whole style straight wild, no patience. Check out my hair, Peruvian, Malaysian. I cut it off in the summer when it's blazing. I cut you off if you fake and you hating. I know they can't take all this money I'm making, but call me Betty Clockado cause I'm caking. Booty shaking from the left to the right. Bigger belt too tight so my back is aching. Left to the right. Tell me what's shaking for, I bring the break, yeah. Monday, a friend of mine. Tuesday, played your game. Wednesday, went away. Thursday, you were so thirsty. Friday, you came back. Wanted to get school Saturday, but that ain't how I give it up. So let's go. Eggs, bacon, bread. Sausage. You better use a condom if you taking it. Sausage. All these broke niggas that be on my need the hot ball. My sausage. Sausage. Eggs, bacon, bread. Sausage. Hot ball. My sausage. Look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the wet. Look at the flick of the bitch. Noni get serious. Yo, look at the flick of the wrist. Look at these hips. Look at the way that they switch. Look at the way that I flip. Look at the pit. Look how I'm stacking these chips. Just look at what I got on. I am too slick. Look at the beat that I'm on. Look at the way that they hate. Look at the grapes. Look at me. Look at my bra. I said in case you ain't know, now you know it's a go. Charms on my arm like my pop got the blow. I lean on the mic like a smooth criminal. On the cover of Vogue. Now watch me cover this Vogue. Mr. Rory. Mr. Rory. Mr. Rory. On the cover of Vogue. Now watch me cover this Vogue. Ole, ole, we wasn't invited, but we any block, Millie rock. I Millie rock on any block. Millie rock. I Millie rock on any block.
cry each time you walk on by. Walk on by. Foolish pride. That's all that I have left. So let me hide the pain and the hurt that you gave me when you said goodbye.
All right, and we're back. That was a long video. We were sitting in here just watching that video. So what did you think of Little Mama's Sausage?
I like the record a lot.
You do?
I love the video because it's very high energy. It kind of has ADD. There's a lot going on in it.
That's how I felt.
But it's exciting. I mean, it's fun. I love the jacket she's wearing in it too. The Ninja Turtles jacket is awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw the reaction to the song. People seem to hate it, and I'm not sure why. Aside from the fact that they hate Little Mama because she's been around for a long time and hasn't done much. But I don't know. I mean, I like the record. It's not. I don't take it all the way seriously, but I do find it a fun song. And I mean,
That's how I felt. This was my first time seeing it today when we were discussing it earlier, and I was like, okay, it just sounds like a lot of other stuff that's been out there already. So I guess that's why it's like kind of. It almost reminds me of like a parody.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a total amalgamation of a bunch of other sounds that people have been doing. And that's why I think one thing that I did like about the video the most is actually the very end of it is there's a thank you page to all the people. It actually gives credits to all of it. So it's not just biting. It's not just, kind of trend hopping. It is acknowledging that it's purposefully trying to do that. It's trying to riff on all those things.
Why do you think that Little Mama hasn't really reached that plateau as an art? Like, it's kind of like...
I mean, she hasn't made good records, really. I mean, isn't that the reason? I mean, she had Lip Gloss when she first came out. I don't remember what her second single was. I didn't hear much music from her after that. And then, I think the next time I saw her, she was like interrupting Jay-Z on stage, and it's like...
That was rude. That was like, I didn't get that. I think maybe, I think that was one of the time where they were drinking. Did she have it had to be a drinking
she went on the Breakfast Club one time and tried to say it was because I think she had lost her mother to cancer around that time, and she was depressed, or whatever it was. I mean, regardless of the reason why, it's like...
Respect.
Yeah, I mean, respect. It's just, like you're saying, why didn't her career pop off? It's like, where are the records? If she was making records like Sausage every year, she would probably have she'd be, so I don't know.
But she reminded me of everybody else that was already out there on that Sausage thing, so it kind of was like...
And I don't think her song is necessarily superior to any of the songs they're sampling, but it doesn't make the thing that she made bad. I mean,
right. Okay, well, you wrote another article about how much money the music festivals are making, and it's a lot of them. I seen every time we had Coachella that just was this summer, a lot of concerts. What are some other? It's something coming up in September with Kendrick Lamar and Stevie Wonder. Is that a festival or
no? She's performing in Vegas, I believe.
Oh, that's Vegas. Okay, so what is it about? Do you think the festivals help a lot of the independent artists? Because it is a lot of independent. How does that work for music industry?
Yeah, it definitely helps independent artists because one of the things about a festival. It's funny because you usually have a couple of headliners, but then you have 50 other acts, maybe even 100 other acts, depending on the festival. So a lot of smaller acts get to put on shows, and it depends on what time of the day you're on, but. A lot of times people will be there, and this happened to me when I went to Coachella a few years ago. You walk around, and there's more stages. You want to just see the stage.
Right.
And you go check out the stage, and maybe there's an act you never heard of, or an act maybe you heard of but never listened to, and you see them put on a show. I mean, this happened to me a few years ago. 2 years ago at Coachella, I was walking around, and I just saw a stage, and I was actually on the way to go see, I think, Little Dragon. But I ended up seeing a set from Luna George, who blew me away. I was like, wow, this is a great performance. I really liked the songs that they were doing. They had great, the crowd was very into it. And from there, I started listening to Luna George. And now, now they have a really big record out right now with DJ Snake, the I Know You Like It record, which is blowing up for them. And that's good. I mean, that if I didn't go to that show, I wouldn't be a Luna George fan. So, one fan at a time. And I'm sure, again, one of the things the article talks about, thousands of people are going to these shows. There's hundreds of acts at all these shows. You're gonna walk around,
a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
you could miss some, but then you could see some really good.
And I mean, look, you're paying a lot of money probably to go, and maybe you're only going just to see, Drake perform on the last day. But that first whole day, you're gonna be like, I paid $100, $200. I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm gonna go hang out all day. If you hang out all day, even if you're not necessarily constantly listening to music, maybe you're going getting a drink and hanging out, you're gonna hear some music, and not every song you're gonna be familiar with. You might hear something you haven't heard before, and it might catch your ear, and you might become a fan.
So what are say 5 artists that we may not have on our radar that we should be looking out for?
Well, it depends on your radar there. One artist that I recently did a piece on that I'm very excited for is a guy named Boogie.
Okay.
Boogie is from LA. He's from, I guess, Long Beach, Compton area. He's got a super hot record out called Oh My. That's got it's produced by Jalil Beats. It reminds me a lot of Hot from last year. It's kind of like that, but it's an awesome song. And he's a dope rapper. He's actually somebody I had slept on because he had put out a project last year called Thirst 48, which is a really slept on project, but had a really refined songwriting to him, and he's got a real perspective that he raps with. So he's got his.
Signed it?
No, he's not.
Oh,
he's being courted right now by a lot of labels, and as well he should be because he's got something for him going. But I think he's waiting it out because he's got a project dropping I think on the 24th of this month called The Reach, which is his next project, which I'm really looking forward to. If he can really make something hot, it'll definitely he's definitely in the right position right now. Another artist that I think a lot of people are excited with, I forget how to pronounce her name. I think it's Alyssa Cara. She only has one record out basically. It's called Here, but it came out. She's already signed. She's on Def Jam, but I mean it came out and it blew a lot of people away. She actually got a feature in the New York Times. Again, basically off one song, and I mean they recently put out the video for it too. She's got, I mean, I think it's like Lord meets Portishead kind of. Her song actually samples Portishead, who I'm a big fan of. But she's a young kid. I don't even think she's 18. She might be like 17. Writes her own songs. She's not from Toronto. She's from Canada, maybe from Ontario, around that area.
Okay.
But she's got a dark vibe, and she's got a very, again, I think a refined style for someone her age. And again, a lot of people are excited. This is something I always take notice of. People always ask me about, new artists and how do you pick somebody that you like, and even somebody like Boogie, where it's like, I had heard of Boogie last year when he had put out Thirst 48, and I was like, yeah, it's cool. We'll see if I see it again. And then I thought it was okay. Same thing with Alyssa Cara. I was like, oh, it was cool, yeah. But then somebody asked me about it, and then my girls asked me about it, and then my cousins asked me about it, and then my coworkers are talking about it, and then I go to a place like this and they asking me about it. Everybody's asking about it. It's like it takes 2 or 3 times when everybody keeps asking. They got a movement. So I think with Alyssa, that was one of the things where I was kind of, again, it's not my cup of tea per se, but I saw it and I thought it was cool, and then I saw some chatter on Twitter, and then I see my coworkers asking, and then my friends asking. I'm like, damn, this girl only has one song, but everybody's asking. Something's about to happen with her. So she's definitely dope. Another artist I think a lot of people have kind of caught up to this year. I was a big fan of last year. Is Kehlani.
I heard her song on one of the reality shows. It was, I think maybe they played it, or was it maybe Being Mary Jane? But I like her song.
Yeah, she's dope. She's from Oakland. She used to be on that show, America's Got Talent.
Okay.
She was on the show for a bit. She didn't win it, but she was on it with a band. But now she's like a solo act. She's super dope. Great songwriter, dancer. Really down to earth personality. She's a very like down to earth kind of girl. And I think R&B kind of really needs that. There's like a lot of these superstars like a Beyonce or Rihanna, and that's great. You need those superstars, but you need the down to earth kind of just cool girls that you can kind of vibe with. And I think Kehlani has that. And she's got a lot of reps. I mean, I always talk about this too. It's her being on America Got Talent gave her a lot of reps. She, knows how to do an interview. She knows how to put on a performance. She knows how to, she knows the importance of, being nice to the right people. Like, she understands that part of the game. And that's the business side of it, yeah. And then she's been burned by the business in her past, too. That's why she ended up leaving that band. But she's learned that lesson, and it's like just that awareness. I think a lot of artists don't have it. She does. She's really, really smart. She's really, really keen on what's going on. So I think that's going to open up things for her. But and she's on Atlantic Records now. And she put out a project not too long ago called You Should Be Here, which is a really good tape. It's a really good tape.
What do you think about shows like American Idol or The Voice or whatever for launch? Because I know American Idol has launched a lot of superstars, and they announced that this is like their last season.
They haven't launched a superstar in a long time.
I know.
Who's the last superstar they launched? Kelly Clarkson. I mean, that's the only. Carrie Underwood. That was like 10 years ago.
So you think it's time for it to go off?
Yeah, all those shows have kind of run their course. I was never really a fan of them, but I'm not really a fan of pop music anyway. It's not really my thing. But yeah, I mean, I think American Idol when it first came out, yeah, it did launch stars like I mean, even there's still remnants of it. Not just Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood, but even guys like Clay Aiken who didn't even win.
Right. He's a politician.
Yeah, he is a politician. Yeah, and he was on Broadway and he did a lot of things. But
I think it launches careers in certain ways. Sometimes it just gives them that platform to do something that they love doing.
But I can't think of the last career it launched. Like, it did give. I mean, I agree. It does give you the platform. And again, this is a lot of those acts aren't necessarily acts that Complex will cover anyway. In fact, most of them are not acts that Complex will cover anyway. So, and they're not acts that I'm necessarily interested in. Yeah, they're not on my radar. Maybe they are. Maybe they've had more success than I'm giving them credit for. But in general, I don't.
You think it should be, what would, if Complex could do a talent show, what type of artists would it pick? Like if it would do something like an online talent.
I mean, it would be artists on brand for us. I mean, we are typically cover hip hop. We definitely do R&B, and we definitely do some indie stuff. And I mean, things that reflect our brand more properly.
Do you see Complex, like Complex has Complex TV, do you see it going to like a network, how Revolt, I remember looking at a panel, and it was from some Revolt employees, and they said you were one of the sites that they go to for information. Like your quote, a lot of people go to Complex. Do you see Complex as a brand? You already have like Complex TV online going to like a network?
I don't
think
think
something that is on your radar.
It's not something for me to speak of on a business side of things because I'm not on that side. But I will say in general, I don't think that's true of any media company. I think television as a institution is on its last legs. I mean, everything is digital. I mean, it's every other, and this is true of print magazines, of television, of radio, all those things, they're over. I mean, we're in the digital age, and everything exists online. I moved here to California, bought my first apartment. I didn't buy a TV for months. I finally buy a TV, and I don't have cable. I don't have any of that stuff. I just watch Netflix off my PS4, off my PS3, and when I want to watch something else, I just hook up my laptop to the TV and just watch it like that. I stream everything I watch. And I think more and more people are going to be doing that in the very, very near future. Even, I'm a big, one of the reasons I would say, like before, the only reason I would buy a TV was to watch sports. But now, ESPN and TNT, I'm a big basketball fan. I watched all the playoffs online. And even when ESPN or TNT wasn't working for me, I would just go on to illegal streaming sites and watch it for free. And it's like, what is the point of having a TV? I have the internet. Why do I need a TV?
Right. So where do you see that as, like, if we're not watching as much TV anymore, the much commercials
you're still watching TV. You're still watching TV. You're just not watching it on a TV.
On a TV, okay. So what does that mean for, like, new artists? Like, where do you see the direction for, like, independent artists, I mean? Do you see that it's easier now that it's so much digital revolution going on that new artists are easier to brand themselves?
Sort of. I mean, it's still
need the machine.
It's still incredibly difficult to be an artist in any era, and particularly in this era. If you want to be an independent artist, and I don't think you do necessarily need the machine anymore, but it is hard to get your name out there. It's hard to establish yourself. I mean, it's always been hard for any artist in the digital era or previously. But I mean, I do think it helps them in some ways. It gives them certain ways to make revenue. I think what we're starting to see now with companies like Spotify and SoundCloud, and they're starting to add more ad revenue. They're being much more conscious of how to generate a profit. And if you can make something that people want to consume and find a direct-to-consumer way to give it to them, then you can make money. I mean,
and that's what Complex is doing.
Yeah.
Because even from the style to the Complex clicks, it's like about 20, 30 departments that Complex has online, right?
In terms of just
covering
sections of the mag, it's only 5 now. I mean, we used to have 11, but we only have 5. It's music, style, sneakers, pop culture, and sports. And that's basically the 5 verticals. But we have a lot of other sites in the network as well.
Okay. Well, I learned a lot today from you. Thank you. What are some of the is there anything else that we could look out for from you writing-wise? What projects can you tell us that you're working on right now? What are you doing research on?
Well, I mean, nowadays I do less of the on-site writing. I'm doing more of the Complex TV stuff, so I'm working a little more behind the scenes.
Okay.
There is a documentary that I've been working on the last few months that is going to be really cool, that will probably drop at the end of the month. I can't give it away.
Okay.
But it's cool. I mean, it's exciting, working, like you said, TV and video and content in general has become the focus for our company.
Okay.
And for all of media in general, in fact.
Okay. Well, we have a lot to look out for, so we could check your articles out and the stuff you're doing with Complex TV on complex.com.
Complex.com.
Okay. And I appreciate you coming to be here in the beat.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you. So we're going out. Thank you, LaRon. That was it. Beauty in the Beat Radio.